All right, Michigan State just played a basketball game to popular belief. It did not go well, so let's talk about it. Michigan State Spartans drop one, an ugly one, at home in the Breslin Center, 71-78 to the Iowa Hawkeyes. A game that was really over in the first half by all stretches of the imagination. Iowa outscores you 45-33 in the first half. You do outscore them 38-33 in the second half. You make a push towards the you know, last half, last 5-7 minutes. You made a push, but same story in all the losses. It's been the same story for a couple years in all of these losses. They all feel the same, but for some reason this year, this one is probably the most annoying of all the losses this year due to the fact of the kind of good vibes that we had coming into this game, or at least from me personally, was feeling good. Won 4 of 5, 8 of 10. You just beat your rival to sweep them on the year. Coming good. People are start talking to you about, seems like you're solid on for sure a 7-8 line, and people talking about the possibility of, hey, if you win out or only take a loss to Purdue here and you win a couple games in the Big Ten tournament, you could talk yourself into a 5 seed. Maybe that was kind of the pipe dream. And though that balloon just gets busted in one ugly night in the Breslin Center in East Lansing. But this is the type of game that you're going to happen when your four main guys, once again, only two show up. And it's the same two that have been showing up for 75% of the season so far. Tyson Walker, Malik Hall, they both showed up. They did the best they could. Obviously, Tyson Walker held them in there 16 points. Malik Hall, 16 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists. Tyson had 16, 4 assists, and a steal with 2 rebounds as well. Shot 4 for 8 from 3 as well. But when your senior point guard, AJ Hogard, yes, he finished with 15 points, but I believe all of those, besides maybe 2, but I do believe all of those were in the second half. He just kind of a no-show in the first half. He did have, I believe, 2 fouls in the first half, so once again in foul trouble and kind of auto-benched as Izzo has done for his whole career here, basically. So he was auto-benched again and kind of really hasn't shown up since the Illinois game. We said after last game that he was doing stuff kind of off the ball to provide at least something to the team, even though he wasn't scoring or getting to the basket. But that wasn't even the case in the first half. I believe he had 1 assist, maybe 2. I could be wrong. I think it was one, maybe 2. I don't know, man. We saw a lot of Trey Holloman. He was solid, 9 points, 2 for 3 from three, 1 for 2 from the line, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. He was solid, but if this team's going to be anything, like we said, AJ Hogard needs to be on the attack, getting to the rim, and putting pressure on the defense, and that just wasn't the case. In the second half, credit to him. As much as we can criticize him about the first half, you have to praise him about the second half, showing up and dropping 15 points in that second half. Like I said, I believe all 15 of his were in the second half. Whether it's 15 or whether it's 13, that doesn't matter. He showed up in the second half, so hats off to him there. But against solid teams going forward the rest of the Big Ten season, these last 4 games, and in the Big Ten tournament, you can't just play 20 minutes of basketball. You can't just play 28 minutes of basketball, 35, 38 minutes of basketball, as we saw a year to the date, I believe, where we blew whatever it was, a 15-point lead in the last 2 minutes of the game against Iowa in Iowa City last year. You had to play the full 40 minutes, and we didn't get that today. Jaden Akins also struggled as well. 2 for 6 from 3 and 2 for 7 overall from the field. Just seemed kind of out of it all night. 3 fouls as well, was in foul trouble a little bit. Kept getting taken out of the game for Trey Holloman. They were running a lot of AJ Hogard, Trey Holloman, and Tyson Walker lineups for quite a bit. But we need more out of Jaden. He did have 5 assists, so he was at least still moving the ball well, and he provided his good defense as well and helping effect on that side of the ball. But we need more scoring out of him. 2 for 7 or 2 for 6 from 3. Obviously, not good enough to get a win tonight. But going forward, we'll obviously need him to step up as he's part of the core 4. So we're just going to need more out of him. And we can't continue to have these, inconsistent games with Jaden and with AJ, going forward. We can't have, on Friday in the tournament, you have a good game. But then Sunday, if you have a game like this, then you're out. So, stuff's got to get turned around. It's got to get turned around fast. Then, talking about the others, we already talked about Trey Holloman. We'll touch on the center position. Briefly, Mady Sissoko only played, 4 minutes? 5 minutes tonight. No points, 2 fouls, a rebound. Most of the night they ran with Kohler or Cooper. Kohler had the most minutes tonight at 19, only added 2 points and 1 rebound. For a center on a Big Ten team in a Big Ten game at home, 2 points, 1 rebound in 19 minutes of play. Carson Cooper, the best rebounding center, 7 rebounds, 3 points, but did have a airball hook shot about 2 feet from the rim in crunch time. So there was that. Cohen Carr, Xavier Booker did get in the game. Cohen for 2 minutes and was 1 for 2 from the field. Had a and 1 opportunity. He did miss the free throw, but had some solid run in his 2 minutes. And then Xavier Booker was also in for that same 2 minute stretch, but then I think Tom was upset with whoever was in the game, Cooper or Kohler at the time, and I think needed to get Malik some rest before halftime, so ended up going with Booker back into the game to close the half. And when I saw him at the under 4 timeout get back into the huddle and sit down on the little stools they have for them, I immediately grabbed my phone out and was like, yes, we're getting more Booker moments. Like, it's finally happening. Tom's been saying it all year. Like, it's coming for Book. It's coming. It's coming. He's getting more, things are moving in the right direction. We're going to get him more time. And it's like, yes, it's finally here. Then in the second half, doesn't even get to step a foot on the floor for a second. Doesn't, like, what do you want to do with that? Like, yes, he only had 2 points. He had a block, 2 rebounds in 6 minutes of play. I'll tell you this, he was essentially, besides Carson rebounding for 7 rebounds, he was your best option at the 5. You go small ball. Yes, he's at this point in his career, given his, size, or should I say lack of muscle at this point in his career and development, he's playing more of a stretch 4, but who cares? Put him out there with Malik, Jaden at the 3 like normal, Tyson at the 2, AJ at the 1. See what happens, Throw a try out there. Whatever lineup you put out there, man, you can put him at the 5 and, he'll give you something, that, he has the potential to give you something that the other 3 are not. I'll say that, but, we can talk in circles about this all night, about Book and Carr. Why aren't they seeing more minutes when we're being told they're getting more minutes? But it's just not happening. And it's very frustrating because you feel like if they were in the game, like, no, we're not saying if you play Booker, you play Carr, that automatically means that Michigan State wins this game and everything's all, A-okay, good, we're cruising towards a 6 or 5 seed. But there's that chance that it could look different because we've seen the story with the other 3 rotational centers at that position the whole year. We've seen it. It's been the same story. And really, no, it's not just one player, one possession that lost Michigan State this game. It's not. It won't be. Like, yes, if you on Twitter or go online, like, be like, oh, this person didn't catch the ball here, this person missed the layup here, this person missed free throw here. That's not. Like, it's always a collection of events in a basketball game that cause you to lose a game, especially a game like this. But a lot of those collection of moments were from the center position. We can comb through the whole game, but just look at this last, 4-minute stretch here. Michigan State goes with a small ball lineup. No center at all. It was AJ, Trey, Tyson, Jaden, and Malik out there. They went with this, so we saw it a little bit in the Tennessee game in the exhibition. They went with this lineup so they can go with the full court press, switch everything. You have your fastest guys out there. Cool. Let's roll with it. And then offensively, they actually got some things rolling. They started to hit a couple baskets in a row. They cut the thing to, I believe, 5. So then after we cut it to 5 with that lineup, Tom decides to go and put Carson back in this game after this lineup already had a rhythm here for a couple minutes and was gaining momentum, gaining momentum. I'm assuming he brought him in because he wanted him to cover Kirky on the other end, even though Kirky was absolutely dominating our bigs all night long. But brought him in, and then I immediately, when it happened, I said in my head, like, this is not going to go well. I actually did one of these sitting in my seats right above Michigan State's bench there in the Breslin Center. And no less than 40 seconds later, we get a play where I believe it was Tyson tried to sneak a pass into Cooper, and it either went right through the hands or went right by him. He didn't see it, and turnover. And or I could have these two events flip flopped, and then we had I believe the air ball hook shot from 2 feet actually came first. So we had the air ball hook shot. Then about a possession or two later, we had the tried to pocket pass it and right through out of bounds. And then there's a 5-point swing. They're back up double digits, and the game's essentially over at that point. So that's definitely a frustrating sequence of events. No, that's not the only reason that Michigan State lost this game. They lost this game because Peyton Sanford, averaging 15 points a game, goes off for 22 points because no one could cover Kirky in the bench, or Cricky, however you want to say it, goes on season, averaging 14 points a game, goes off for 18. And then Patrick McCaffrey, averaging 9 points on the season, goes off for 14. That's why you lose that game. We talked about before the game, you held Perkins in check for the most part. 8 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. Nothing super crazy. Nothing that should win a game, a Big Ten game in this magnitude like that. Like nothing crazy to, shift the tides. But so you executed well there. And then Freeman as well, who was coming off an incredible game last time out against Wisconsin. You were able to limit him as well because he was in foul trouble. And he ended up finishing with 4 fouls, but he did only have 8 points and 2 assists, 2 rebounds, and a block. But you were able to limit him there due to foul trouble. So, you did a lot of good things in terms of, on Iowa's side, forcing Perkins and Freeman not to have super big impacts on this game, but the other guys for Iowa stepped up, and, you got to tip your hat to them. But overall for Michigan State, this was definitely a frustrating game. And now you put yourself kind of behind the 8 ball to get a top 4 seed. Yes, you do still play Northwestern, who is one of the currently 4 teams. You're currently sitting in 5th place at 9-7 in the conference. You're a half game behind Northwestern right now, but you do play Northwestern to close the season, so you do have a shot to, gain a game back there. Would like some help from someone to try to knock Northwestern back to, hopefully the winner of that game guarantees a top 4 spot. And yeah, I don't know. Frustrating part is the talk was, you're looking ahead to Ohio State on Saturday. That kind of seemed like maybe a letdown spot because after the Ohio State game, you have the whole week off until Purdue next Saturday. And so it's like, and Ohio State's coming off a big win, upsetting Purdue, last time out. Or, well, I guess by the time we play Ohio State, it'll be a game or two, whatever it is. I don't know their schedule off the top of my head. But, that was kind of the, hey, watch out for this game. But then now you drop this game, a quad 2 game that you're not supposed to drop at home, and to an Iowa team ranked 52nd in, the country based on Bart Torvik, and now you play Ohio State ranked 51. So, similar level teams. Obviously, Ohio State did just fire Chris Holtmann, but as we just said, they just pulled off a big win against Purdue. So, but that was kind of the look-ahead game, but now, all right, now you lost this game. Now it's like, you can't drop 2 in a row because then if, oh boy, you drop another one to Purdue, then, oh boy, that's 3 in a row, and you're rolling into Northwestern with a Spartan killer and Boo Booey coming to town on your senior night, and then a tough base play in Indiana. Like, things aren't easy these last 5. This was a game you should have, won if things were executed correctly and, did some things differently, but you didn't. Now you gotta buckle in and you gotta win a game on Sunday that you're still favored by about 7 to win in. But, we'll go and talk about that, later this week before the game on Sunday. I will say after this game, though, Michigan State, for the first time in a while, has dropped below the top 15 in Bart Torvik. They dropped down to number 18, 17-10 on the year, 9-7 in the conference. But overall, disappointing day, a disappointing game. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Go Green. Peace out.